to Roger, I'm gonna leave Roger Goodell out of it, but for Adam Silver and Rob Manfred, the new commissioners, you know, it was either damned if you do, damn if you don't. What I mean by that, if the NBA would have canceled the season, they would have lose a lot of money. Same thing with baseball. If they continue, you're putting the players' life at risk. That's basically what they're doing right now. So either way, it was a tough decision for Adam Silver and Rob Manfred. Even though it would have been a tough decision back in April or May, I was leaning towards, part of me wanted the NBA back, part of me wanted baseball back, but to see how serious the coronavirus was, and still is, it wouldn't be a bad idea to cancel the season, to cancel the season. Which I thought they should have done, but they didn't. You know, and the war back and forth with and baseball back and forth between the players and the commissioner. Listen, we're going to see baseball. I'm really glad, but I don't. Me as a sports fan, we don't really need it right now. And the fact is, there's a lot of catalogs they could have played. You know how many a lot of old games they could have played. But it's baseball. It's sports. It's the commissioners we're talking about. They cannot live with themselves. They lose a lot of money. So they don't let Rob Manfred, don't let Adam Silver, don't let even Gary Bettman or Roger Goodell tell you otherwise. They came back for one reason and one reason only. Again. And that is, we need the money. The players could be sick, but we gotta have our money. And that is unfortunate and sad where the state of sports is at. Which is really remarkable. And I see a lot of CBS Sports Network and a lot of CBS Sports Network and a lot of ESPN and CBS Sports telling me, the mark of the NBA and who's going to win the East, who's going to win the West, and so forth. How do you know these? How do you know who's going to win? Who you know is going to be who's a contender? How do you know? These players are rusty. They haven't played in a month. We don't know who's in good shape. You don't know you just don't know. You don't know how good they're gonna play. Remember, the NBA hasn't played in 3 months, 3 to 4 months, and they playing in different circumstances. So we don't know if it's good. We don't know how the players is. We don't know how the players is going to be. If the players going to be ready, if they're going to be mentally. It's a tough situation for either sport. MLB is going to be a short season. We don't know if the Yankees or the Dodgers are going to be the Dodgers and the Yankees are going to be favorites to win the World Series, as you should. But then again, if you don't have the Dodgers in the world, if you don't have the Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series, then you know what? It's going to look bad for MLB. But in general, again, back to what I was saying, I don't know. It's very, very hard to pick who's going to win the World Series this year, who's going to win the NBA Finals this year. Because again, these players haven't played over a month. We don't know. Baseball is very hard to predict who's going to win the World Series. Because you don't know. Because in baseball, you know how unpredictable it is. NHL, you know how unpredictable it's going to be. The NFL, we don't know. And especially in the NBA. The NBA is going to be very tough because the NBA hasn't played over 4 months, and we don't know if LeBron is going to be mentally in. We don't know if LeBron going to play or not, but if he is, I'm pretty sure he's going to be in shape. But players are going to be scared of their lives because this virus is out there, and this coronavirus is going to kill people left and right. And they're going to be away from their families, and they don't want to put their families in danger. So there's a lot going on as we speak right now. A lot is going on. So it's really going to be hard. Who's going to win the title? Who's going to win the title in any sport this year? And this has been the weirdest year. This is going to be the most craziest years we could ever remember in a long time. So it's a lot. It's really a lot. So I don't know. I can't answer. We can't answer where do we go from here because it's very, very tough. But I'm really glad. About one thing. Also, I'm really glad about one thing. That the owners don't take the players' pay cuts. Players should not be taking the owners. No owners and no commissioner should not sticking their hand out at this moment, especially when people are dying. This is not the time for it. Shouldn't be taking money for. You shouldn't stick their hand out in general. Period. The players earn their money. Players earn their money. So there's only one left thing to do, you know. So, and that's pretty much all we got to say about it. Now, as far as now as we wind down, as far as a lot of sports that, but watching sports in general is going to be weird. You know, we've been talking about it's been weird for decades or so. I mean, for the last couple of weeks or so, with WWE having no fans. It's going to be a different side when baseball is going to play with no fans. We don't know if the NFL is going to be in schedule. The NFL is going to be on schedule. You know how I know the NFL is going to be on schedule? Because they announced it, and the kickoff game will be defending champs, the defending Super Bowl champions. Kansas City Chiefs will play against the Houston Texans. And can you imagine? And it's really messed up. And I feel bad for the Kansas City Chiefs because the Kansas City Chiefs, Arrowhead would have been rocking because Arrowhead would have their first title since 1970 and is really, it would have been really the city of Kansas City would have been rocking. It would have been rocking more than ever. It would have been rocking. Yeah. Now, before I get out of here, I glimpsed the original series of the 1986, the 1968 series that's on CNN. I don't know if anybody watched it last night, but I watched the original. I know it's probably. I don't know. I'm not sure if it was a rerun or not, but it was really. I remember, and it was showing the times when Columbia University, that Richard Nixon presidency, how he was running for president and stuff. It was when he was running for president, and I gotta tell you, it is similar. The whole Nixon presidency is more scary, and more, is he like Nixon face, the way they make him, his nose is very pointy and his face is very, very big, you know, for the most part. But it was really like the series in general, like it was. I feel like we're in 1968. That's what this year is reminding me of, even though I wasn't born at the time. And with that, that's going to do it for this edition of Drew Mania Live. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to listen to this episode again, please go to Spreaker.com, type in the keyword Andrew L. Perry. Once again, go to Spreaker.com, type in the keyword Andrew L. Perry, and always follow my show on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. And also listen to and whatever you listen to your podcast, whatever you listen to the podcast, check out Drew Mania Live. And also check out my Instagram blog at DrewM8079. Just DrewM8079. Until next time, this is Andrew Perry saying to you, shalom, let peace go with you, and I'll talk to you in the next Drew Mania Live. So long, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and stay safe out there.